just 1 week's practice. So we'll see. We'll see how he's going to do.
All right. So we are going to see what is currently live, and we're just going to hop straight into it because we got some time before our next match, the next scheduled match, I guess. But let's see who is currently playing. We got. Can you bring up the schedule there? We can just take a look and see who actually is going to be playing versus practice. I don't want to hop in on practice.
Yep.
I got Cypher Sparty waiting in the wings.
You have that waiting for you?
Well, I just see them on the. I see them in server, so I'm going to hop in there and just find out what happens. I think they were supposed to play, but maybe they waited.
If we're here, then it is going to be. Wait for it. Cypher Sparty is a game.
Yep. So I'm going to see if it's.
So let's take it.
Yeah.
Take that game.
I think that's a great game. If it's you know.
But it's nice to know that the Toxinator did turn up.
Indeed, absolutely. I'm happy GreasedScotsman right now.
So we see what the situation is with Cypher and Sparty. This is going to be the high seed game of this match. It's top versus high. So Cypher will of course take the top seed, being returning QuakeCon champion. We'll see if he can do it again. Versus Sparty, he's always traditionally performed well over in America at QuakeCons. He's had his third place, and he can beat anybody in his best form. But of course, we don't often see him always in his best form. Right. So we'll see how he does.
Well, currently it looks like they're both AFK.
Yep. So no one's winning
sorted
right now.
We might have some info soon.
Yep.
Oh,
they're
okay.
done.
Sadly, they are done.
Who beats whom?
Yeah, do we know the...
I can check in the little bit.
Yes, we have a nice little tracker now. Thank you, id Software.
We have a tracker, yeah.
Yes, what other matches do we have?
So, Cypher...
Rafa Chance?
Yeah, Rafa's beating Chance 1 map, but so Sparty Cypher was actually 3 maps. No, it looks like it was 2 maps and it's just reported 1 twice. So 2 maps. Whoa. Wait a minute. Arrow Walk was won by Sparty, 14-11. Sparty won Arrow Walk, and it's reported it 3 times in this tracker.
Yeah.
And I don't think they played Arrow Walk 3 times in the same score with the same damage, because that sounds a little suspicious. So prior to that...
Chance just left, Cooler's hopped in.
I cannot see any other maps from them. And apparently Cooler played Vent 1,000,000 times. Alright, and the other map was won by Cypher, Furious Heights, 15-1. And then, if I keep scrolling down, 04 played Draven 1,000,000 times. And Sparty beat Cypher on Toxicity, 16-8. So Sparty has beaten Cypher.
Okay. Is there a...
You're not even impressed. Look at you.
I am impressed, but I'm also trying to find more coverage. But it literally looks like every game has been played out. So one thing that we're trying to do... Oh, CZM versus Vamp. CZM, I don't know if that's practice, though. Is that an actual game, according to the schedule, CZM Vamp?
Wait a minute, my good friend. CZM versus Vamp, that is a game, yes. Okay. If you can call it a game.
It's pretty much the only thing that's live right now, as far as I can tell. So why don't we just hop into it?
Maybe we can get Gerhard to get Sparty. I want Sparty.
Yes. We can set up an interview.
Sparty. Get me Sparty.
If Quake Live loads.
And a cookie.
And a cookie. All right. Hey, cookies are good. I wouldn't mind cookies. So, yeah, we're running into a nice problem, James, where the matches are literally so on time that they're running too fast. So I think we're just going to keep hopping around here. We got CZM on Arrow Walk against vamp1re, totally up top. We didn't really have a chance to see CZM kind of in control when we looked at him earlier against Noctis.
Yep, he is control.
Yeah, so I'm kind of wondering if... It is loud. That's very loud in-house, thank you. The stage is rumbling for those who are wondering at home. vamp1re is one of those players that, he's not necessarily... top seed, but he is certainly a strong contender, and he can be very surprising That's why I'm giving you all the items. But oh wow, look at that. Very nice jump shot by CZM in order to put vamp1re down. So it looks like these guys are even just sort of, they're sparring, I would say, but CZM is enjoying the victory at the moment.
Yep. But I want to get back to the Toxic and Strength game again, just to kind of highlight another thing. In Quake Live, people always say there's 3 core weapons. It's your rocket, it's your L, and it's your LG. I personally think that when Toxic plays, he has the 4th, which is a plasma gun.
I think we have to say so. I mean, he was hitting something like 20% plasma on both maps, if not more.
But he also used it in his previous games as well, I noticed, versus other players. So he's really quite heavy on the plasma gun, because he knows how much damage it can do. But it requires a lot of, intelligent lead and really good, like weapon choice. It's a scary weapon choice. It is high risk, high reward. But with Toxic, it's somewhat. It doesn't seem so high risk for him to use it because he constantly manages to hit. So I definitely think we'll see more of that.
Well, and I imagine that's surprising to most players because they're not used to going up against plasma.
Yes, well, the only player that uses plasma gun like he does, but in a more defensive, not in a defensive way, but in a much more mid-combat way, is Cypher. Cypher is the only person that will use that gun in a way that he will shave off a lot of health and armor of you without you knowing it prior to a big moment that you think you could have won despite those 4 plasma gun hits or whatever. And it's notorious for it, in my opinion, when I watch him play, that he's able to use every weapon so well. And I think, those 2 are really the master of weapons. I think that Cypher Toxic is the game that I will be most excited for in this tournament. Just because I think they bring most of the elements of Quake to its highest caliber.
And do you feel like Toxic's sort of strategic game is on par with Cypher?
No, not right now.
Okay.
No. I definitely think it's an uphill battle for him to take down Cypher, but I also know that Toxic knows how Cypher plays, or at least used to play, and I don't think he's changed much. I think he's improved, but Toxic's like, oh god, yeah.
One thing I saw out of Cypher that I wasn't really used to seeing from him is that he seemed to be a lot more situationally aggressive. Like a lot of times, rather than leaving his opponent lane, he was going in for the kill, and sometimes doing it in really surprising moments.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if that might be something that.
Well, if he's got that in his game more than he has, it's probably maybe like a bit of havoc rubbing off on him. But I definitely feel that he would need that versus Toxic because primarily you see Cypher do a lot of damage to his opponents without taking any, as he's always looking for knowledge on where you are and doing this kind of mid-range damage.
Right.
But then sometimes he used to lack the ability to follow it up and get the kill. But for example, with Toxic, he's constantly looking for you. So when they come off and they have this square-off situation, Toxic's more ready for that than anyone else out there. So I think that Cypher might end up eating more damage looking for Toxic than he would otherwise. So I think Cypher should maybe try and utilize, controlling the map, getting, really heavy on the stack and taking those rocket fights and close range fights rather than like a mid-range spam fest, which they are both probably the best at.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but that's really going to be my favorite game of the tournament.
Awesome. Well, I think, again, there's been such great efficiency. I want to say, first of all, thank you to the tournament admins for literally doing too good of a job. Because as you can see on this Quake Live screen, there is one player in a server, and it's Cooler. All right. So guys, the brackets are being finalized. I guess, we've already gotten to that point through the group stage. So, wow.
Now we get to the fun part where people vote people in on Facebook.
Right? Yes. In fact, I believe that can be done. Yeah. Yes, for those that aren't aware, the way this tournament works is we started off with a 16-player invite, and then we thought, okay, that's kind of too small. So they expanded it to 24 players, which is great, 24-player invite. But then, in a way to fill out the brackets to a full 16 after the group stages, they said, okay, well, let's take the 12 people that go through. They just go through normally, so top 2 from each group. They go through. And then let's have basically the community step up, and they will essentially vote, I guess, based on hopefully, if not popularity, what they've seen out of performance, I would hope. And so 4 people that weren't going to make it through the groups now have basically a second chance by Facebook vote to get back in and play through the playoffs. So
do we know what the groups look like right now? Like the end of who's
like
the 12
the
that
wins
are
and
going
all that
through?
stuff. I think that's kind of the one thing that we're missing is actually the basically the stats for all the games in one place. We have information that's trickled into one place. Maybe ESR has it. We can just hop on ESR.
But take this responsibility seriously, because it's very important to some of these people.
Yeah.
And everybody should take that seriously, but also vote for Bajito.
Yeah, Facebook.com/QuakeCon. Definitely like that page, check it out, and toss your vote up. And essentially, whoever gets, I think the 4 players, they get the most votes, they go back in. I'm not exactly sure how the voting works.
Yeah, basically that's it. It's a popularity.
Popularity contest.
No, it's not popularity. It's like if you think this guy did really well, and if they didn't get through.
Please base popularity on merit.
Yeah, and Bajito.
And Bajito, apparently, yeah. I know that a lot of people in South America will be very happy if that happens. And I think what we need to do is take a short break and try to get an interview with some of the players, Sparty being probably the first. So, guys, stay tuned, and we will be back in just a little bit.